And in Thailand, an Australian man has been stabbed to death. The 35-year-old was found suffering wounds to his abdomen, leg and arm. An American national was arrested at the scene. Police say he was drunk and armed with a folding knife. It's understood the victim was from WA. Australian and Indonesian police have smashed a sex slave ring they claim has been operating between the two nations. Andrew Denny's at Sydney Airport tonight. Andrew, a Sydney man's been arrested for his alleged role in the crime.
Well, good evening. This arrest here in Sydney follows almost 2 years of work by the Australian Federal Police and Indonesian authorities following the discovery of what's alleged to be a cohort of women trafficked out of Indonesia's poorest areas to work in dire conditions in brothels here. The alleged ringleader here in Sydney is a 43-year-old man by the name of Surya Sabetki. He was arrested at his unit in Arncliffe. Investigators claim he was the Australian facilitator of a trafficking syndicate allegedly travelling to Jakarta to meet victims, organising tourist visas to bring them here and work illegally at 20 brothels throughout Sydney and the Central Coast. He's just the third person in Australia to face the charge of organising entry of a minor to provide sex services. That charge relates to a 17-year-old girl who's turned witness against him, but police claim they've found other women who were brought here to work illegally as well.
The investigation has resulted in 7 women being removed from sexual exploitation here in New South Wales. They're scared, they're frightened. A lot of them don't speak English, obviously, either. I can't imagine what they go through. There's a huge power disparity between the victims of this crime and the perpetrators, and it is sometimes difficult to have those victims come forward in the first place, but also provide a full statement to police. We are confident we have disrupted the criminal syndicate.
Now, a woman has also been arrested in Indonesia as well. Police there holding a press conference today saying they have prevented more women from being trafficked.
The woman left widowed after a tragic accident at a Sydney train station might be deported from Australia. Her husband and one of her twin daughters were killed by a train when their pram fell off the platform. The couple's other daughter was saved. Poonam Ranwal and her husband Anand came to Australia from India last year. 7 News understands the Immigration Minister is seeking more information from police before making a decision over Mr Ranwal's visa. Well, it now appears all but certain Kamala Harris will get the Democratic Party's nod to run for president. She's received the backing of more than half of the delegates she needs to win nomination. And in the 24 hours since Joe Biden announced he was bowing out, she's raised more money for her campaign in a single day than any other, more than $120 million.
So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election. In this election, we know we each face a question: what kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law? Yes! Or a country of chaos, fear, and hate? So in the next 106 days, we have work to do. We have doors to knock on, we have people to talk to, we have phone calls to make, and we have an election to win.
She made that address from her now campaign headquarters in Delaware. Joe Biden joined in by telephone as he recovers from COVID.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
There's still a Democratic convention to come for the official tick-off, but that appears to be a done deal. The job ahead, beating Donald Trump and his running mate.
I was told I was going to get to debate Kamala Harris, and now President Trump's going to get to debate her. I'm kind of pissed off about that, if I'm being honest with you.
And while all that was happening over on Washington's Capitol Hill, the grilling began over the attempted assassination attempt on Donald Trump. The head of the Secret Service came under a barrage of angry questions. Both sides of politics weren't happy.
Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest Mr.
Chairman,
Mr.
Chairman, I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful, and you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Well, as you can see, the questioning was relentless. No one on the committee was satisfied with what they were getting.
Were you not prepared today to answer our questions?
I am prepared to answer the questions based on the information and wanted to be able to provide.
Do you have a timeline at all from any of the day?
I have a timeline that does not have specifics.
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job.
This Oversight Committee rarely agrees on anything, but today everyone was demanding the resignation of the Secret Service Director.
It is my firm belief, Director Cheadle, that you should resign. However, in complete defiance, Director Cheadle has maintained she will not tender her resignation. After this hearing and after our request for information, we don't have any answers for the American people, and we don't have that confidence that you can lead the Secret Service to restore the confidence.
Israel's Prime Minister's told the families of hostages being held by Hamas that a deal is closer. Dozens of hostages were taken in the attack on Israel in October. A number have since died in captivity. During his visit to Washington, he's told family members a deal is nearing. That comes despite recent shelling in Gaza that's claimed dozens of lives in recent days. Benjamin Netanyahu is scheduled to meet with President Joe Biden during his visit. Police have swarmed a property northwest of Melbourne, in the hunt for a man who's been missing since February. Let's go to Beth and Yeoman in Melbourne. Beth, one man was arrested during the raid.
Jerry, police arrested a 34-year-old man from Wildwood on drug offences and car theft following a warrant and search on his rural property earlier this morning. Detectives say he is a person of interest in the suspected murder of Adrian Romeo, who went missing 5 months ago after heading out to buy cigarettes and visit associates just a few suburbs away from his home. Today, 102 people scoured the accused 400-acre property in Melbourne's northwest, seizing a mobile phone, ammunition, guns, a ute and a motorbike. Police were tipped off after an appeal on Sunday.
Adrian is more than likely met with foul play and is now deceased.
I just can't understand how anyone could harm him.
Mr. Romeo had no criminal links and wasn't known to police. His mobile phone is off, his credit cards haven't been used, and there's been no trace of the gold Toyota sedan he left in. His family is still holding on to hope. The evidence gathered today will now be forensically examined and will hopefully provide more clues into Mr. Romeo's whereabouts. Jerry.
A young surfer has lost a leg in a shark attack. It happened at an isolated beach near Port Macquarie. Kai McKenzie was alone this morning when the 3-metre shark struck. He was able to fight the shark off and catch a wave into shore. A retired police officer walking his dog nearby rushed to the surfer's aid, using his dog's lead to stem the bleeding. There'd been multiple great white sightings in the area early this morning, and the 23-year-old is in hospital now in a stable, serious condition. A Brisbane shopkeeper who'd had enough has bailed up some would-be thieves armed with a knife. Lynn locked the front door when she saw the shoplifters stealing from her. She told them to pay or put those items back. The teenagers have told 7 News they were worried for their friend who'd been cornered in the shop. Police were called, and Lynn now hopes the boys who admitted to stealing from her in the past never come back. Navy chiefs in charge of AUKUS have met in WA. A rotating force of nuclear-powered submarines will be based in the West from 2027 to train a local workforce. The US Admiral vows no matter who becomes president, it won't impact America's alliance with the UK and Australia, nor the 30-year deal for Australia to build our own fleet of subs. The federal government today announced $2 billion to fast-track a fleet of Army landing craft to enable more rapid deployment. The Aussie swimmers are moving into the Athletes' Village tonight as their showdown with the Americans and Chinese teams looms. Matt Carmichael's in Paris. Matt, there could be some tense moments in the Village.
Hi, Jerry. Yeah, it will be interesting if the Australian and Chinese swimmers cross paths in there, because some of our Aussie swimmers have been very outspoken about that controversy with the 23 positive tests that the Chinese swim team had before the Tokyo Games, and then to be allowed to go on and swim there, and some swimming in Tokyo with great success. And also, Australia have got Shayna Jack as a teammate who missed a huge chunk of her young career to a pretty contentious doping positive too. So that's interesting. Chris Reason tracked down the Chinese swimming team. He spoke to Dennis Cottrell, who's the great Australian coach. He's with the Chinese team. He claims they'll be the most drug-tested athletes at these entire Olympics.
What do you say back to those criticisms and those allegations?
Oh, I'm with the athletes.
I know, mate.
And the coaches.
Yep.
And they're genuine, and I feel for them most of all.
And Matt, it's a dream Olympics for one of the real global stars on our Aussie team.
Yeah, huge. It just almost, you have to pinch yourself these days at the array of stars we have in basketball with all these NBA players we have these days, Jerry. And Josh Giddey's one of those. He's 21 years old, had a pretty rough season in the NBA, and it didn't end too well for him. But I got to watch him against France the other night, and he looked so confident. They've put him really in charge of this Boomers team. Josh says it's just a dream to be here, and he thinks the Boomers can definitely contend for a gold medal too.
This is probably the realest chance we've ever had to win a gold medal in Australian basketball. That drives the group, and this happens once every 4 years, so this doesn't come around often. It's a rare opportunity that we have.
And LeBron James will be wheeled out at the opening ceremony to steal the show too, Jerry, for the Americans. The first time they've had one of their men's basketball stars carrying the flag for them at the opening ceremony.
Plenty of big names there. And Matt, the dreaded COVID has struck our team.
Yeah, we have been worried about this because there's a lot of COVID everywhere. Of course, the rules have changed. 2 of our water polo players have now tested positive. One is isolating. She didn't train today because she's not feeling well enough. The other was able to train with her teammates. So apart from if you're not well enough, you can compete with COVID these days. The other news from here too, Jerry, people are pretty excited. Celine Dion's jet has arrived in Paris. Of course, there's speculation that she could make her comeback after 2 years of not being able to perform with her illness that she's had. Might be a star of the opening ceremony. We'll wait and see.
Oh, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. Enjoy Paris.
Thank you.
Still to come tonight on the latest from 7 News, another arrest made over a deadly hit and run in Queensland. Fears aged care residents could be evicted if new laws aren't passed. And a crackdown on energy drinks found with illegal levels of caffeine. Stay with us. Those stories and more are next here on the latest from 7 News.
Larry, what are you doing?
Nothing, mate. You know I'm nominated for gold, yeah?
Yes, you've told me several times. Mate, very busy, lots to do. I'll see you on the night, OK? All right.
Righto, my go. Triple word score, 63 points. Game over.
The TV Week Logie Awards, Sunday, August 18 on 7 and 7+.
Are you Ray or Alf right now?
Sometimes I don't even know.
Sleep is essential for good health. Blackmore's Deep Sleep, specially formulated to support deep and restful sleep. Sleep well with Blackmore's. Available from $26.99 at Chemist Warehouse.
Meet the Hansons. We challenge them to take new Vanish Gold Pro on a trip in search of the world's toughest stains. The catch? They only get 1 shirt each.
What have you done? There's no way this will come out in the cold wash.
Even in cold and short cycles, just 1 scoop of Vanish in every wash is safe on clothes, while lifting the toughest of stains.
Wow, that only took 30 minutes.
Trust Vanish, forget stains.
Long live the cake!
This is Simon. When asked what he did over the weekend, he'll say, nothing special. Is hanging out with your favourite people nothing special? Are these pub-style chips nothing special? Simon McCain, there's something special about nothing special.
What the
Officeworks, we won't be beaten on price. Get a comfortable Typhoon Viper gaming chair for $198 or a 5-ream carton of J. Burrows copy paper for $38. Make bigger things happen at Officeworks.
Host Plus delivers strong performance over the long term with top returns over 20 years. A top performing super fund over the long term? That's a plus.
Are painful muscle cramps stopping you from doing the things you love or waking you up at night? Caruso's Super Magnesium to the rescue. Caruso's Super Magnesium is an 8-hour time-release formula with 6 types of magnesium, which relieves painful muscle cramps when dietary intake is inadequate and supports muscle and nervous system health and function. Get back to doing what you love with Caruso's Super Magnesium. Caruso's Super Magnesium is made in Australia and comes with a money-back guarantee. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores.
At Aussie Broadband, we reckon there's more to the Aussie way than just this. Like telling it straight, without the BS. Go for the green.
Straight up service and support. That's Aussie Broadband. That's the actual Aussie way.
The pain relief brand Australians trust. To get us back to the moments that mean much more than we think. And the important stuff too. Panadol. Care starts here.
On Friday Night Footy, Blues and Power in the epic to put themselves into title contention. Live and free on 7.
A second person's been charged over the alleged hit and run death of a young Brisbane mother. Tyler James is accused of planning the attack with his lover to kill Keisha Thompson, his ex-partner and the mother of his young daughter. The 23-year-old was mowed down on a footpath after dropping her child at daycare last week. Police say it was a deliberate and calculated domestic violence attack. They're now investigating whether the young mother was stalked before her death. Tyler James will face court with his co-accused next week, charged with murder. 2 Melbourne police officers have been stood down after a botched arrest left a man in a coma. Police say 35-year-old Luke Briggs became aggressive while being questioned over a minor traffic matter. It led to a confrontation where he spent 17 minutes without oxygen. In a statement, Luke's family says they trust a thorough and fair investigation will reveal the truth of what happened. Parts of Perth's east have been hit by a narrow storm band. The system brought down trees and damaged homes. Power was knocked out to thousands of properties, and the Weather Bureau warns more wild weather is on the way for the west. Aged care providers fear a political standoff will see homes shuttered and residents facing eviction if reforms aren't passed in the next few months. Let's go to Ben Downey in Canberra right now. Ben, what's the hold-up?
Evening, Jerry. It's between the government and opposition over long-awaited changes to aged care, particularly the prospect of jail time for badly behaved operators and potentially making wealthier residents pay for their care. Providers say the reforms must pass if aged care is to exist in the future, because currently half of all providers are running at a loss.
People of means should be asked to pay more towards rent and accommodation, towards food and towards cleaning and laundry and those kinds of things. Care should still be incredibly heavily subsidised by the taxpayer because it's a universal need.
6 months ago, the task force put forward these recommendations, agreed to by unions, providers and residents. Aged Care Minister Annika Wells has also signalled her support. But even after this consultation and the Royal Commission that spawned it, the opposition is demanding the government fully release the draft laws to inform the community more before it signs on.
We certainly believe that it is time for reform in the aged care sector, because we need to have a sector that supports older Australians into the future. But what we'd say to the government is I think it is time to more broadly put these reforms out to allow Australians to be able to have their say.
4 years ago, the Royal Commission said these changes were urgent. Providers fear if it's not done in a month's time, it'll have to wait until after next year's election. Jerry.
Julian Assange's wife Stella has shared the first photo of the WikiLeaks founder and their children all together since his release from jail. The photo was posted to Instagram showing the family at the beach. It says he'd been looking forward to feeling the sand through his toes. Hundreds of illegal energy drinks have been seized from South Australian shelves. Let's bring in Jasmine Turlings in Adelaide. Jasmine, they contain illegal levels of caffeine.
They do, Jerry. More than 100 retailers were inspected during the SA government's 9-month blitz on illegal energy drinks, and the results were alarming. These are just some of the 700 drinks seized from Adelaide shelves as part of the crackdown, and popular labels are among the worst offenders. G Fuel, Bang and Ray's energy drinks were all found to have almost double the legal amount of caffeine set under the Australian Food Standards Code. That equates to 9 cans of Coca-Cola or 3 shots of coffee. But it's who the drinks are marketed for that has health authorities here on alert. Take a listen.
They've got cartoon characters, they've got video game characters. There's no doubt that these illegal drinks are being targeted at our children.
With those that are under 18, they have a limited ability to break down caffeine in the body, and therefore heightening the risk of heart problems, also increasing the risk of anxiety, increasing insomnia.
Now, 18 businesses were pinged during the statewide blitz, but authorities are putting suppliers on the border on notice too. Now, health experts advise against any form of energy drinks for children under 18, whether they're compliant or not. But the SA government has ruled out an outright ban on selling energy drinks to minors for now. Jerry.
Still to come, we've got your national weather forecast. Then, one man's giant dream to bring a country together. Our final frames are next. You're watching the latest from 7 News.
You sure you want to get involved with this character?
I know all about the River Boys.
They're being drawn in, one by one.
We think they're involved in a murder. Let's get this done.
Police, stay where you are!
What are you doing here?
Home and Away, this week on 7 and 7+.
Sleep is essential for good health. Blackmore's Deep Sleep, specially formulated to support deep and restful sleep. Sleep well with Blackmore's. Available from $26.99 at Chemist Warehouse.
Men, women, entire families. You knew they didn't need that much data, didn't you?
Question your telco plan. Get 65 gigabytes for $39 with Aldi Mobile.
Sensitivity is when you feel that short, sharp pain. Sensodyne Repair and Protect has Novamin. It forms strong reparative layer over sensitive teeth. Try Sensodyne. It works. Nobody does sensitivity like Sensodyne.
Everyone loves the never-ending softness of 3-ply quilting. Quilting loves your bum.
Long live the cake!
No matter where you are, Bunnings Trade is here to help. Gemma called me up looking for some product. We can get the order ready for her to just go and pick up from her nearest store. It was simple, easy, and she was back to work straight away.
Trade Assist, if you call them up, they're going to save you time and money. It's great.
From nature to you, introducing Botanica's first aerosol-free automatic spray, with fragrances infused with responsibly sourced natural ingredients to keep your home fresh 24/7. Botanica, inspired by nature.
Disney's 5-star production of Beauty and the Beast is enchanting audiences at Her Majesty's Theatre. Experience this sumptuous grand-scale musical that's a pure delight from start to finish. Fall in love with this lavish, dazzling and joyous spectacle and create memories that will last a lifetime. Book today at Ticketek.
Global pop phenomenon, Six the Musical opens next week at Melbourne's Comedy Theatre. Following sold-out shows nationwide, the 6 wives of Henry VIII are back in 80 minutes of high-octane fun. Don't miss the fierce and hilarious Tudor queens turn pop princesses as they rewrite and retell 500 years of history. Tickets are selling fast. Book today at sixthemusical.com.au.
You wouldn't know it, but this morning Jasmine was running a fever. A dose of children's Panadol, a good nap and a few hugs from Dad. Now she's ready for... everything? Help them back to their epic best with children's Panadol.
Seven's horse racing coverage is